Hello students, how are you? I hope you all are doing well. I am Pooja. I will teach you social science. So, today's topic is sources of medieval history. Sources of medieval history. There are two main sources of medieval history. First, archaeological sources, second, literary sources. Now, what is the meaning of archaeological sources? Archaeological sources are those sources which are discovered during excavation or exploration. Excavation means digging underground, and exploration means through investigation or through examination. So, archaeological sources are basically the material evidence that are found in the ground or through excavation site like historical buildings, coins, inscription and other remains that gives important and detailed information pertaining to a particular period. These are the excavation site from where certain materials are found. Now, what is the meaning of archaeology? Archaeology is the study of history by examining the remains of buildings and objects found in the ground. Now, what is the meaning of archaeologist? Archaeologist is a person who studies human history and prehistory through the excavation of site and the analysis of artifacts and other physical remain. Now, what is excavation site? Excavation site is a place where digging process is done through the tools so that evidence of past can be studied. And what is the meaning of artifacts? Artifacts is the remains of materials such as weapons, pottery, monuments, coins, etc. are discovered after digging or excavation. So these remains are called artifacts. Now, what is now we will study archaeological sources. Archaeological sources are classified into three categories. First, inscription. Second, monuments. Third, coins. Now we will study each of them. First, inscription. Inscriptions are the writing which are engraved either on stone surface or on metal or bricks, on rocks, pillars, walls of buildings, temples, copper plate, etc. are called inscription. The inscription consists of religious instruction and records of royal proclamation. Now, example of inscription of medieval period. Inscription are found on the walls of Red Fort, Taj Mahal, Fatehpur Sikri and the palace wall of the Rajput. The picture you are seeing showing the inscription on rocks, pillars, stone tablet, building, metal plate. Now this is the Ashoka rock inscription. Inscription of Ashoka are the best example of religious inscription. And this is the Allahabad pillar inscription. Now we will study about the importance of inscription. Inscription provide a lot of information about the first. The inscription on the walls of monuments or pillars gives an insight into the rule of a particular dynasty. It means the inscription on walls gave us deep understanding about the rule of a particular dynasty. Second, inscription supporting wars or victories showcase military interest and achievement. Third, social or spiritual messages on pillars shows the social or religious interest of the rulers and also give a detailed picture of the life of the people, trade, commerce, administration and military exploits. Now we will study about the epigraphy and epigraphist. Epigraphy is the study of inscription. An epigraphist is the person who studies the inscription or epigraph is known as epigraphist. Now next is monuments. Monuments are old temples, mosques, palaces, forts, tombstones and clock towers are called monuments. Or we can say old buildings which are important historically are called monuments. For example, the Taj Mahal. In the picture, you are seeing the Taj Mahal. The Taj Mahal is the most beautiful monument, and it is the one of the 7 wonders of the world. It is built by Mughal Emperor Shah Mahal. Now, next example is Fatehpur Sikri in Agra, Red Fort in Delhi, and Brihadishvara Temple in Tanjore. As you can see the temples at your right hand side in the picture. Now we will study about the importance of monuments. Monuments showcase the style of architecture. It means, for example, the architecture of Taj Mahal is Persian architecture style, Islamic architecture style, and Indian architecture style. Second, carving and sculpture showcase creative skill of artisans as well as customs, food habits, dresses and jewelry and various hairstyle of the period. As you can see the picture in your right hand side, the picture which shows the carving on the panels of the Qutub Minar tell us about the reign of Delhi Sultanate. Now next is coins. Numismatics means the study of coins, and pneumatics is a person who studies the coins. As you can see in the picture, this picture is showing a person studying the coins. Now we will study the importance of coin. Coin help us to identify the names and ruling period of kings. The picture at your right hand side is the Gupta period coin. This picture is showing Gupta period coin, Gupta period gold coin. Now second is coin help us in knowing the extent of the empire. The presence of coins in the foreign land indicates trade with them. As you can see in the picture at your right hand side, you will find the coins, you will find different coins. So it tells us trading relation between two countries from the discovery of coin of one country found in another. Now next is literary sources. Literary sources are written documents or written records. Literary sources are classified into three. First, travelogues. Second, chronicles. Third is autobiographies and biographies. Now we will discuss each of them. First is travelogues. Travelogues are the accounts written by travelers visiting different countries. During the medieval period, many famous travelers visited India. Their travelogues inform us about the places they visited, their observations, and meetings with the royalty and the common people. Some of the famous visitors who wrote travelogues are first Al-Biruni. As you can see at your left hand side, there is a picture. This is a picture of Al-Biruni. He came from Central Asia. He gave a detailed account of Indian philosophy and culture in his book Kitab fi Tahqiq Ma il Hind, also known as Tariq al Hind. Now, next is Ibn Battuta. Ibn Battuta, as you can see the picture at your right hand side, he traveled from Morocco to visit India during the rule of Tughlaq. He wrote Rihala. Now next is chronicle. Now what is chronicle? Chronicles are written records of event arranged in the order in which they happened. Important chronicles of medieval period are as follow. Raja Ratnagiri by Kalhana is the history of King Kashmir. Second, Tariq-i-Firoz Shahi by Ziauddin Barani is a record of the history of the Sultan of Delhi till the reign of Firoz Shah Tughlaq. Now next is biography and autobiographies. First, biography. What is biography? A biography is a story of person's life that is written by someone else. And what is autobiography? See, auto means self and biography means story of person's life. So, an autobiography is the story of a person's life that is written by person himself. Autobiographies of the medieval period are first Babarnama by Babur, second Tuzuk-e-Jahangiri by Emperor Jahangir, third Futuhat-e-Firoz Shahi by Firoz Shah Tughlaq. Now biographies of the medieval period. Humayun-Nama written by Gulbadan Begum gives a detailed account of the reign of the Mughal Emperor Humayun. Second, Akbarnama by Abul Fazl informs us about the events of Emperor Akbar reign. Next, Prithviraj Raso by Chand Bardai gives valuable information about the life and adventures of the Chauhan ruler, that is Prithviraj Chauhan. I hope you all liked the session. Thank you.